Hey guys, and welcome back to Tome Time Tea. This is your host, C.T. Russell, here to continue my reviews of the Chronicles of Narnia. Up today is the Voyage of the Dawn Treader. I'm gonna start off by saying all of what I'm about to talk about is my own personal experiences and personal opinions. If you have differing opinions, that's great. My experience, this thin book meant for children, took me weeks to read. Weeks! I expected to read it in a couple days at most. Why did it take me so long? I honestly didn't care for it, but I kept reading it because I know so many people that like it. Like I have said in past Chronicles of Narnia reviews, I feel that reading these books later on in life lessen the magic people report finding in them. Everyone I know that reports they love the books say that they first read them growing up. I'd like to know in the comments if there's anyone out there who didn't read the series until later on and their experiences when they finally got to reading the books. There are individual elements of the story that I really enjoyed, but for some reason I had difficulties with this book as a whole. Since this is the third book in the series and most people have probably already read it, I'm going to do a spoiler-filled review. A blurb. Lucy, Edmund, and their cousin Eustace is pulled back into the world of Narnia, where they meet up with Prince Caspian, who reports that he is sailing to find the lords of his father's court that were sent off when his uncle took power. So they sail off to different islands to try to either find the lords or find out what happened to them. The book starts off with an explanation as to why the older kids are not with the younger kids. It starts off so strong, digging into a pet peeve of mine. The pretty but dumb trope. Because apparently, Susan is gorgeous, but her only chance at a good life is to be married because she isn't smart enough for college. For the most part, she was actually the voice of reason in the past books. Looking ahead, making sure her siblings stayed safe. Sure, she didn't believe Lucy about Aslan and then admitted that she thought Lucy was right, she just didn't feel like listening to Lucy. And that was dumb. But overall, she didn't seem any less intelligent than anyone else in the books. Plus, this ruins the headcanon of her being the founder of Ravenclaw. And I mean, come on guys, you've seen that photo too, right? Like, it's been floating around the internet for a while now. Well, apparently, C.S. Lewis doesn't support it. The nerve. Then Peter is at school or something. I don't actually remember. I didn't take a note of it. I think I was so mad about Susan getting the short end of the characterization stick. I just didn't pay that close attention. Speaking of characterization, there's a lot more in this novel than in the first two I read. Of course, there's Edmund, still a dick. But this book introduces a new character, Eustace. And I swear, his only reason for existence is for the audience to hate him more than Edmund. He's the worst. Just a huge know-it-all brat. And despite his annoyance, telling people how to do their jobs, stealing extra rations, and a whole bunch else, I actually found myself enjoying the passages about him the most. Except when he grabbed the poor mouse by the tail, that was unforgivable. But through the course of the story, he had the most character growth. Other characters even comment on his growth as the story progresses. Then there's Prince Caspian. I still don't care for his character. It doesn't help that early on he's talking about how much he doesn't want to marry a woman because she has freckles. Listen, I don't care if your personalities don't mix, but that is just shallow. Besides, he's really boring to me. I found myself glazing over when it came to his sections. Now I want to talk about some writing elements that didn't really work for me. So this novel mainly takes place on a boat. Instead of writing poop deck, it's just called The Poop. And I don't care how old I get, characters running into the poop is hilarious. But it just takes me out of the story because mature me just keeps laughing. The book really dates itself when it comes to the discussion of corporal punishment. There's a section that talks about how Eustace is a little prick because he goes to a school that doesn't use corporal punishment and his parents don't spank him. Here in the US, corporal punishment is illegal. And there have been a number of studies done that have shown that it does not help to teach students. And if you want books on parenting techniques, I highly suggest the Parent Effectiveness Training book. At least Eustace's main character changes came due to him being turned into a dragon, which was by far my favorite part of the book, and it was way too short. I would have loved for him to stay a dragon until like the end of the book. I might have been more invested in the novel had he stayed a dragon. Then how he becomes normal is so strange. So Aslan scratches the scales off? I know there is magic, but he could have learned his lesson, done something non-dickish, and then get to change back. A weird dream sequence is, well, weird, and a wasted opportunity in my opinion. Lastly, I want to talk about Lucy. I loved how she was able to hold her own against all the men in the novel. As one can imagine, for a novel written decades ago about sailing, it was pretty much exclusively males. She's still an impulsive firecracker. But then, towards the end of the novel, she's tempted to do a spell that makes her the prettiest girl because she's jealous of Susan. Yeah, that's a pet peeve of mine. I just find it to be lazy writing. She's boiled down to being a female, so she's expected to want to strive to reach the feminine ideal. But let's be real, Lucy is about adventure. There's more to her life than being pretty. Okay, I'm glad I could get that out. On to my tea recommendation, peppermint tea. Peppermint tea is said to help against seasickness. Although if you actually get seasick like I do, it might be a better idea to use traditional medicines and ask your doctor. I am not a doctor. But since this book mainly takes place on the ocean, it seemed like a good fit for me. Who was your favorite character in the Chronicles of Narnia? What was your favorite part of the novel? Do you get seasick? Did you also laugh at the poop? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks guys. I'll see you later.